Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Wow, do we have a lot. Just a ton of stuff. It's going to be a big show today. Jam-packed full of stuff. I don't even know where to start. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I guess we start with...
Animal videos?
No, surprisingly, no.
Oh.
No.
I thought you were telegraphing that.
No, I mean, usually, yes, I'd be all over the animal video, but not today.
Not today.
Today, we might start with the Hunter Biden situation. Documents apparently show Hunter Biden's signature on the Delaware computer repair shop receipt. It's really his computer. I mean... the Democrats are trying to say, oh, you know what? This is a Russian operation. The Russian disinformation. Well, even if it came from the Russians, that just means they found the computer, right? Or got a hold of it somehow, got it to somebody else. Doesn't mean it's not true. A Russian operation? Plus, our intelligence people say, no, it's not some kind of Russian operation. It's not Russian disinformation. There's no evidence of that. You know what it is? Sheer butt stupidity. That's what it is. It's Hunter Biden who took his computer to a repair shop, signed for it and everything. It's his computer. And then left it there. Never came back for it. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah,
the guy's just a screw up,
he
right?
is. He is the screw up.
Bless his heart.
Family.
He's a screw up. He's got some issues. We all do, but his issues are fairly prominent right now and visible to all. And he happens to be the son of a political candidate, so it's relevant. It's all relevant. So these documents acquired by Fox appear to show Hunter Biden's signature on an $85 receipt for repair of laptops. What kind of shop was this? Where do you get computer repair for $85?
I was thinking that too.
Whoa, you got a great... Is this a special Biden deal? I've never gone into a computer store for under $100 or $200 or $300.
Yeah, how much is the Geek Squad over at Best Buy charge you to look at
It's a fortune. It's like, okay, you know what? I'll just buy a new computer. Forget it. That's usually how expensive it is. It's like, well, you spent $1,200. Yeah, okay, it's worth about $800. What do you mean, spent $1,200 on the repair? No, thank you.
Yeah, and he is such a screw up. How do you not even? First of all,
how do you not go back for it?
How do you, when you're involved in this kind of stuff? How are you going to a computer shop to begin with?
Right.
Instead of you're just destroying it with a hammer in your backyard. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And then you're moving on. It's time for a new computer.
Yeah, if you got all this stuff on it.
Yeah, and then
come on.
Second of all, you're going back. You're going back for it, right? If you go, man, I was so drunk when I dropped off my computer.
Back. He must have been on drugs when he dropped it off, or who knows when.
He is the screw up of the family.
Somewhere along the line, I guess he just forgot it forever.
That'll happen when you're, smoking on that pipe like he was.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. It wasn't a crack pipe. It was a meth pipe. Wasn't that what we heard at one point?
Correction!
Right, correction. That was not. Stop it. This is a urban legend that was a crack pipe. It was a meth pipe, you morons. Now, supposedly that was a Snopes correction or something. I don't know. I think that was I think somebody was just...
Was that Babylon B did that? Or
maybe
something?
it was a Babylon B.
I
don't know.
Jeffy came in here.
So great. Apparently it hasn't been absolutely verified that the signature is actually Biden's. FBI paperwork also shows that shop owner John Paul Mac Isaac. Why does the guy have 4 names? What's that about?
Right.
John Paul Mac Isaac.
Yeah.
That's a waste.
Selfish.
That's a waste.
Save some names.
Yeah, right?
For the rest of us out here.
He takes 2 middle names, so someone else is without one. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's like Glenn Edward Lee Beck. It's wrong. It's wrong. First of all, the 2 N's in the first name.
Right.
Totally wasteful. And then you got 2 middle names? No. Now somebody else is without one. Thanks. Anyway, John Paul Mac Isaac received a subpoena to testify before the U.S. District Court in Delaware in December 2019. Last week, the New York Post published a report saying emails obtained from the laptop show Biden allegedly was in on his son's business deals. We know that. House Intel Chair Adam Schiff said the smear on Biden comes from the Kremlin. Okay. The smear is from the Kremlin. Mm-hmm. All right. So what did they do? They planted this computer at the Delaware shop? Yeah, I don't know how that worked. DNI John Radcliffe, the director of national intelligence, John Radcliffe, said the laptop is not Russian disinformation. And Biden's campaign says the Democratic nominee engaged in no wrongdoing. Well, of course they say that. They always say that. Mm-hmm. U.S. authorities investigating if recently published emails are tied to Russian disinformation targeting Biden. This just keeps going. The dealings of Biden's son in Ukraine and China are connected to an ongoing Russian disinformation campaign. Everything that is going wrong for Democrats is Russia. It's the Russians. It's the Russians. The 80s called Democrat Party, and they want their policy back. Okay, yeah. The 80s are pissed off right now about your Russian fear mongering.
Yes.
So ridiculous.
Amazing.
Conservative leading New York Post claimed in a series of articles this week that it obtained smoking gun emails. President Trump and his allies have used the topic. I love this. To smear the Bidens over the past year. CNN. I mean, the spin on their articles, unbelievable.
I know we might get into it later, but as of last night, I'm trying to get this to work right now. But New York Post still not allowed to tweet on their Twitter account until they take down their Hunter Biden.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
they still Jack came out and said, whoa, that was just some algorithm problem.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to take that down. We didn't mean to flag them. We didn't mean to remove that link. So, in fact, they did, and they still are.
They haven't posted anything since October 14th.
Gosh,
and
that is
normally
unbelievable.
The New York Post posts the stuff multiple times a day.
Wow.
So, but anyway, we got some fun stories on how that went down, and how Facebook and Twitter are tied very closely to the Biden campaign.
No kidding. So maybe this explains why Twitter, Facebook, all these socials were so quick to suppress the Hunter Biden revelations. The moment the New York Post reported on some of these sleazy dealings with Hunter Biden, Twitter and Facebook went into overdrive to suppress the information. And as Keith just mentioned, they're still doing it. They're still suppressing the information to protect Joe Biden. In the case of Facebook, though, maybe one of those protectors was, in fact, protecting herself. The person currently in charge of Facebook's election integrity program.
Oh, okay. That's good.
It's an oxymoron. Facebook's election integrity program is Anna Makanju. The name probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it does mean something to Joe Biden because Anna Makanju is formally Biden's senior policy advisor for Ukraine.
For who?
For you. Wow. His senior policy advisor for Ukraine. Huh.
That sounds like a preemptive job right there. Like, look, we got to have somebody on the front lines of social media. If stuff comes out against Biden on Ukraine,
sure does.
You need to be in place for when this happens. And ta-da!
That is crazy. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? I would have never... I mean, the effort here is so complete. You just have to stand back and look at the genius sometimes and think, wow, these guys have really thought this out.
Yeah.
I mean, every aspect of it has been carefully planned and orchestrated and cover it up. And then they have contingencies for if anything goes wrong. Like this, it seems, allegedly, in my opinion. And Keith's, obviously. Jeez.
Yep, and it doesn't stop there. We've got more.
No, it doesn't. More social media backlash. Resurrected over Biden's transition team ties. Let's see. Who else do they have on the inside? Twitter's suppression of Hunter Biden's revelations also came days after the company's director of public policy, Carlos Monge, reportedly left his post to work for the Biden transition team.
I'm sorry, what was that again? Now we're going the
other way.
We're flipping it.
Yeah. So he was with Twitter, then he left Twitter to go to work for the Biden transition team.
And he probably doesn't have any coworkers that he used to be chums with, that he's still in contact with. Hey, could you do me a solid over there?
No, I'm sure that's not the.
See if my passcode still works to get you into the mainframe.
The move, there's also fresh criticism on social media over the Biden transition team's hiring of top Facebook exec Jessica Hertz, which reportedly came days after the 2020 Democrats campaign penned a letter to the social media giant urging them to censor President Trump's posts.
Well, then. There's a lot going on there behind the scenes between the campaign and the social medias.
How do they get away with this? With all of this stuff, how do they get away with it? And we know about it, and they just keep doing it. They just keep doing it. Some Twitter users accuse the Biden campaign of not even trying to hide it at all. Yeah, they don't care anymore. They don't care. I really think that they're so enmeshed now that they've gone so far down the road that they don't need to hide it anymore. And they're really kind of proud of it. They want us to admire their work.
Yeah.
They're like, look how good we are. Yeah, you really are. You're pretty good.
And Section 230, right?
Yeah.
That's a helpful thing they have in their back pocket.
It sure is. Now, there's been some talk from, say, Ted Cruz and others to finally, once and for all, do something about this Section 230.
Yeah.
We've heard about it a billion times. Section 230 is the one where if you're considered a publisher, then there's certain rules and regulations that you have to abide by. If you're a platform, then you have to remain, or is it it's the other way around, right? And so you have to remain unbiased.
Yeah, that way you're not held liable for third-party information that's posted on your website. That's
the agreement. So if somebody does something crazy on your website, then you're not going to be responsible for it. But you have to remain non-biased in order for that agreement to be in effect. Well, Brendan Carr, commissioner of the FCC, one of the commissioners, says the recent news story about Biden and his son Hunter being blocked on major social media platforms, watershed moment for big tech companies. There's a huge divide between the power, the influence, the bias, and the big tech that they have, and the complete absence of regulation. That's not what Congress intended with Section 230. So I think we can modernize, clarify the rules so that more speech stays out there. At the end of the day, we want people deciding for themselves the value of speech, the value of information, not Silicon Valley. Thank you. But they've been allowed to get away with this for so long that it would amaze me if they really do finally put the hammer down on this. Courts have given sweeping interpretations of Section 230, conferring immunities and privileges on big tech that Congress never provided them. Our job at the FCC will be to close some of those loopholes, while Congress and other entities look at potentially revoking 230 entirely. Okay. Finally.
Yep. I mean, it's so egregious that even you've got a Supreme Court justice now, speaking
Clarence
out.
Thomas talking about it?
Yeah. He's saying
that the protections are too broad.
Right.
Well, we've talked about, a million times, these are private businesses, right? Mm-hmm. This is their business, and so they can, I guess, decide who participates on it and who doesn't. Mm-hmm. But again, they're provided these protections, so they've got this deal with Congress going. So they can't have it both ways. They can't have it both ways. Either you you receive the protection and allow everybody to voice their opinion, or that protection goes away and you can be an arm of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, and you talked
Which
about how the Senate may subpoena Jack Dorsey and some others, Zuckerberg. Yeah, we got an update though. Plans for the vote were delayed in part due to some GOP panel members wavering on whether to support the action, according to one Senate GOP aide. So now they are getting weak-kneed, saying, maybe we won't.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? These feckless Republicans just drive me out of my mind.
They've got something on them.
There's no feck in them. There's
no feck?
absolutely no feck. They're feckless.
You have to pay extra to get the feck added in?
They're devoid of feck.
I am...
It's a weird word, isn't it? Feckless? So feckless, meaning that you don't have any feck, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have any feck, you're not going to get the job done.
Yeah, if you're sans feck, then
that's bad.
You're lacking in feck. So get some feck.
Get some feck.
Right?
And hold these hearings.
Get some feck. And get these guys in front of you. Because you're not going to have power for another...
Right.
Oh, let me check here. Seriously.
It's madness. Why is it that Republicans can never hold the line? Why is it they can never draw the line in the sand and just hold that territory? I don't get it. But they can't.
Well, I think you already addressed that.
They're feckless.
They have no feck.
They don't have any feck. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, though, arguing Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, the CDA, as we like to refer to it.
Of course.
Is applied too broadly to social media companies in a recent letter. The law, which was passed at the beginning of the dot-com era, allows internet companies, well, we know what it allows. So according to the report by Axios, Justice Thomas suggested that Section 230 of the CDA should be narrowed. Yeah, you think? Maybe? In a statement issued in response to a petition for writ of certiorari.
Of course. I mean, don't... You're doing that. You're doing that so that the rest of us don't feel bad about ourselves.
Right. I know this Latin word, and I'm just...
Yeah. One more time, just for the...
I don't want to show off.
You don't?
No. Justice Thomas argued that Section 230 declares that social media platforms are not publishers, which means that they cannot be held liable for content posted by their users. Some industry analysts have suggested that platforms should be responsible for their for the content on their platform and for the censorship of content from their platforms, an act that makes them a publisher instead of a platform. So it's nice to see we've got a Supreme Court justice
who has feck.
Who has some feck. If there's anybody with feck, it's Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was, just from the very moment he was nominated, was forged in the arena of feck.
Seriously, there's not many spines left up there.
There's really not. Even in the Supreme Court, even in this super, super conservative Supreme Court, John Roberts, George W. Bush appointee. Wow. How is it possible that they could do something that wasn't conservative? It's almost impossible to believe.
Yeah, and by the way, Clarence Thomas, I forget, I don't want to scare anyone here, so I probably shouldn't say this, but he mentioned the word retirement recently.
Wasn't he just saying he wasn't going to, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like somebody kept saying, well, what if Justice Thomas retires? And I think he said,
okay,
I've got no plans to retire.
There's an update? Okay, cool.
I think.
He's like, I got no plans to retire. Ask me on November 3rd, right?
Is that what he said?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying.
All right, I thought you were reading a quote.
No, he's probably thinking,
wow.
Look.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that stink, though, that your retirement is based on how an election goes?
Yes.
I don't know, in his case, me and Jenny plan on moving up to Nebraska, but of course it depends on this election, so.
Jeez. He's so consistent and so reliable, and his values run deep, and so to lose him would be a disaster. Just a disaster. Let's go to Bernie in Michigan. Hey, Bernie, you're on the Blaze.
Yes, sir. You touched on our illustrious Governor Gretchen Whitmer yesterday about how she's lying.
She is illustrious, isn't she?
Oh gosh. And she I would like to go over several lies that she told if I could, if you give me some time.
All right.
She lied about the terrorist plot, saying that was connected to Republicans. It was not. It was a real extremist group that they don't like Trump either. She lied about saying that Trump is creating divisiveness. She lied about the court ruling. It was unanimous against her that they were unconstitutional. And she said it was partisan. It was unanimous. Democrats and Republicans said that she went too far. Mm-hmm. And she falsely says now that, if you don't like the lockdowns and you vote for Biden, vote for Biden. She's almost like it's like a veiled threat that if you don't vote for Biden, I'm going to keep locking you down. That's the way she treats us.
Yeah.
She lies about everything. She blamed Trump, saying he didn't do this. Trump was saying at the Muskegon rally that's not too far from where I live. He mentioned Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and he said that she's so nice on the phone and says, "You need anything else?" He asked her, no, and she gets off the phone and starts vilifying him. Said this terrible administration. I mean, how far is she going to go with this? She's in Biden's pocket. Period.
Yep. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Bernie. Yeah. Here's part of what he's referencing with Governor Whitmer.
How are you going to account for lockdown fatigue, mitigation fatigue? I mean, that is real. We know this is real. In your efforts this time to convince your constituents to abide by the rules?
Yeah, so last night the president talked about lockdowns. We haven't had a stay-home order since late spring, but I know that he never lets the facts get in the way of
Pause it for a
comments
second.
that he's making.
Okay, he's not the one who locked down your state. You are. Maybe you haven't rescinded the order.
Thank you.
That you issued back in, was it March or May?
She said late spring.
Late spring. Yeah, but you issued the lockdown.
That just means she hasn't pulled up on any of them, right?
Right.
And plus, if it wasn't for the Supreme Court of Michigan, every one of them would still be in place right now.
So as Bernie was saying, she's a lying sack. Let's see the rest of this lie.
Since late spring. But I know that he never lets the facts get in the way of comments that he's making. Every moment that we are not focused on the fact that there are 220,000 Americans who have died from this virus is good for him. So in that sense, as he incites additional violence against people who are just trying to save one another's lives, it's good for him. And that's why I don't want to talk about him endangering public servants' lives. I want to talk about what he hasn't done. And that's his job. The Trump virus response is the worst in the globe. I mean, in the world, it's the worst. 8 million people have contracted COVID-19, 220,000 dead. We've got people in food pantry lines who never would have imagined that they'd be there. And no light on the horizon because our numbers keep going up. This is a gravely serious moment for all of us. And if you're tired of lockdowns, or you're tired of wearing masks, or you wish you were in church this morning or watching college football, or your kids were in person instruction, it is time for change in this country. And that's why we've got to elect Joe Biden.
Oh, geez, that's just... Oof. All right, we got to... Maybe this will help.
No.
It's not helping.
This is the lady that wouldn't let you drive from your one house to your other house.
Because a lot of Michiganders have places on the lake. And, maybe they live in Detroit. They've got a place on the lake. And they weren't allowed to drive from that house in Detroit to that house on the lake.
But you know how to make that insanity stop, right?
Yeah, vote for Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Who's going to do what?
Right, the guy who has hinted at having a national mask mandate.
Wow, they're really good at just continually spinning the lie. And when they're caught in the lie, they just keep repeating it anyway. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Everybody knows, or should, that Donald Trump is not responsible for these lockdowns. He suggested it strongly, and his timeline was 2 weeks back in April. 2 weeks. And when he said we should really open up. We should open back up by Easter. Everybody on the left had an absolute conniption fit.
If he had that to do over again, he would absolutely get to his Twitter account every day after Easter and just hit that home. Why aren't we opening? Let's go.
It's incredible that they can have it both ways like this. First of all, they were pissed off. That the lockdown didn't happen soon enough. He didn't do enough. He didn't do anything. He waited too long. Okay, well, then he suggested that you lock down your businesses and do it for 2 weeks. And then, ever since then, he's been encouraging everybody to open back up. We can't stay on lockdown. It's bad for the economy. Open your business back up. Let's do it safely. Let's protect the elderly and the most vulnerable among us. And then everybody else, go about your business. And they're still somehow able to blame him for the lockdown that you have mandated? Gretchen? Wow.
It's masterful how they do this.
Yes. I was just going to say, these are master manipulators at work. Just master deceivers. There is a special place in South Hell for these douchebags.
Oh, and that's convenient because there is a Hell, Michigan.
No, that's right.
And she could just go there.
Yeah.
She can just go to Hell, Michigan.
A funny morning show bit
back
in the day was to wonder if your temperature was hotter than hell. And you'd call up a convenience store in Hell, Michigan, and you'd ask them the temperature. and if it was less than yours, it was actually literally hotter than hell. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful morning.
Hold on a second. It's 65 degrees here under partly cloudy skies, Irving, Texas.
Wind out of the southwest at 4.5 miles an hour.
We're checking in at
Barometric pressure 30.02 and falling.
Hey, Flap, guess what?
Yeah, what's that?
In Hell, Michigan, it's 37 degrees.
It's literally hotter than hell in Dallas, Texas. Good morning.
Woo, that's
what a beautiful,
one.
Beautiful morning in the morning time this morning. Good morning.
It's...
wouldn't you like to go back to those days, though?
Yeah.
The simpler time. Just a simpler time where you can have fun on the radio.
I mean, it's just random sound effects on morning shows. Let's check in with weather and traffic.
Traffic and weather together every 9 minutes on the 4s. All morning long this morning. Good morning. Beautiful morning.
What are we getting to some sports? We had some sports last night.
Oh, we got to play. Speaking of sports.
Oh, no. You see, when do we get these days back?
We have something covering virtually every aspect of our existence today. And this one is another tough one. It's another tough one. This is from, is this
okay?
Little sound from the weekend?
Yeah, this clip
with
was
Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
This is a hot mic moment before
we'll share that with you coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Good morning. So a little hot mic action. Whoa. Right before the game began, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
This morning, so we'll play that for you in just a few minutes. Also, don't forget, we're going to get the Let Out. It's 7 o'clock tonight, Led Zeppelin for an entire hour. Be ready with your Led Zeppelin requests as we get the Let Out. That will be with J.K. McKay taking you all the way up to the bewitching hour of midnight tonight. 7 to midnight with J.K. McKay and getting the Let Out.
The Big Frog 1099.
The only station beyond the bandwidth of your FM radio dial, everybody. Good morning.
Good
Don't know my opinion of court packing when the election is over. Now look,
I know
it's a great question, y'all, and I don't blame you for asking it.
Oh,
but
thank
you know, the moment I answer that question, the headline in every one of your papers will be about that.
And
other than
I don't like headlines. So
focusing on what's happening now. The election has begun. There's never been a court appointment once an election begun, but 4 million or so people have already voted. They're denying the American people the one shot they have under constitutional law.
Asinine. And he's been asked multiple times, what about it is unconstitutional? Of course, can't come up with the answer because there isn't one. It's not unconstitutional.
The only thing missing from that is, look, man, what do you think? Do you think I want to be president or something? What is this? The Spanish Inquisition? Stop. Don't ask me these questions.
What are you doing asking me? I just want to be in the White House. Stop asking me questions.
I don't owe you anything. God, it's terrible, man.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Let's see. Now, Sean Ono Lennon.
Oh, I know him.
Tweeted out something fascinating about Hunter Biden.
In the crackdown that social media was doing in conjunction with the Biden campaign and locking down the information getting out.
This is John Lennon's son with Yoko.
He's a beautiful
boy.
Beautiful.
Yes. It is no longer, here's what Sean tweets, it's no longer an exaggeration to say that the collusion between social media and media to manipulate our reality for the benefit of their political agendas has reached Stalinist proportions.
John Lennon's son.
Wow.
Love that. Well,
that's an unlikely place for that to come.
Yoko Ono's son.
Yeah, crazy. And he's right, of course.
Totally right, man. Hit a home run there. He's a libertarian. If you follow him on Twitter, he's definitely an independent thinker. I think John would be very proud of that fact.
Yeah.
If I can go ahead and speak for a guy who
go ahead.
was killed when I was like 4 years old.
Been dead for 40 years, so we have no idea. Might as well.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Might as well just run with it.
Yep, I think he would be proud.
Then we've had many Patheads, I guess, tweet that they need to hear Al Sharpton.
Yes.
Talking about Hunter Biden's.
I put that in there for y'all, Patheads.
Emails.
Oh, cool. Look at this.
Right,
He's got the megaphone, y'all.
Why was Hunter Biden's traffic emails sent? Why was Hunter Biden's computer left at the repair shop?
I mean, that last line, nice try, a little too coherent.
Yeah, it was.
That was a little too coherent for Reverend Al.
That's very true.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, he is. What were we saying? He's Fredo, right? Off air. We were like, that's...
such a screw up.
He is the dolt of the family.
But Joe loves him. He loves him. And he's, all of us have problems. Don't worry about it. So it must be tough for him, though, because Bo was a superhero in that family.
Right.
And, of course, apparently did all the right things at all the right times and did... made his father proud. And you've got
Hunter.
This
guy
over here. But he gave a lot of money to Pop. One of the emails talks about how he owed, I guess, 50% of all of his earnings went to his dad. And that's a ton. That's a ton of money. We wonder how Joe got so rich.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Oh, what did I see? The income for the Bidens has just exploded in the last few years.
Of course it has.
Compared to any year previous, just the last few. Interesting. But, yeah, I mean, it's Hunter Biden, was able to use his dad's name and his position back home.
Right.
And
even though Joe claims that he didn't meet any of his business partners, we now know that he did, in fact, get together. It's in the emails. Did, in fact, get together with this Ukrainian. And who knows what they talked about, but I'm guessing it was helping his son's deals get rolling.
But remember, in defense of Joe,
yeah,
he may not recall those meetings.
He may not recall. Plus, they've already told us that we looked at our calendar and we didn't put anything date with Hunter's business partners in the Ukraine.
There's nothing on the official calendar.
Nothing on the official calendar is completely clear.
Right, but as Politico reports,
there's a few gaps.
Yeah, we have images from those days in question of you guys together, and there's gaps in that on those days in your schedule.
Just a few gaps. So we don't necessarily know exactly who it was he was talking to, but it's quite probable the guy from Ukraine was one of them. Just amazing. I mean, there's no way out of this, it would seem. This would be like in any other time period,
right?
A huge October surprise that destroys the guy's candidacy. But nah, not in today's day.
But that D, man, that D behind your name really
means everything.
Deflects a lot. D for deflect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Captain America, he walks around with that shield. He should just walk around with a giant D. Because that keeps this stuff
nothing
away.
Could hurt him then.
Seriously.
Nothing could hurt him. All right. We'd like to welcome a new client to the show. Cool. Thuma. Thuma's The Bed. When was the last time you gave any thought to your bed frame? Maybe when you bought your mattress, you thought about it for about 3 seconds because they threw it in for free, right? Well, you got what you paid for. There's no way that ugly hunk of metal fits your style. Give your bed and your whole bedroom an upgrade with The Bed by Thuma. Thuma has spent years and thousands of hours creating the perfect platform bed frame for modern living. Super supportive for your mattress. It's breathable. It's made to naturally minimize noise. The Bed by Thuma is backed with a lifetime warranty. It ships right to your door. Takes about 5 minutes or so to assemble with no tools. That is right up my alley. If I receive something in the mail that has a bunch of tools and the little wrenches that you can, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to open it. But this could not be easier. Thuma has really high standards for both craftsmanship and aesthetics because each bed is handcrafted from eco-friendly, high-quality, upcycled walnut-colored wood. You're going to see how beautiful it is right away. Upgrade your space with The Bed by Thuma. And right now, for a limited time, you can get free shipping on your order. Free shipping. Go to thuma.com/unleashed. That's THUMA. It's not actually .com. It's .co.
Oh.
Hopefully that'll make it easier to remember. Just leave off the last M for muddled.
The last M for muddled. And it's,
yes, because it'd be muddled if you put the last
so
M
it's
in.
Thuma.co. Okay.
Yep. The Bed by Thuma, shipped directly to your door for free. Thuma.co/unleashed.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Well, if you want COVID-19 to go away, you know what you have to do. You got to vote for Joe Biden.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
You know, Trump has handled this worse than anybody in the world.
Yeah. You have to wear a mask when you go to the grocery store in your town.
Say thank you.
In your local area.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Yeah, all because of Trump.
Yeah.
No.
So a casket outside, speaking of people who've handled this poorly, has anybody handled it worse than Andrew Cuomo? Of course, we all know the answer to that is no. Nobody's handled it worse than Cuomo has. A silver casket was wheeled to the front of a Brooklyn nursing home Sunday, and 6,500 copies of the cover of Governor Andrew Cuomo's new book were dumped into it in protest of his COVID-19 policies. As you can imagine, not only 6,500 copies fit inside the casket, but they made good use of them all over the place. The number of covers was equal to the roughly 6,500 people who've been reportedly killed by the coronavirus in nursing homes in the state. He gets a total pass for that.
And he writes a book about it.
And he writes a book about how great he handled it.
What? With a bizarro world.
You just can't get your head around it. Here's a guy who literally handled it worse than anybody in the country, worse than anyone in the world. And yet he's hailed as a hero.
He's bragging about it. I remember early on, complimenting his daily press briefings because they were just plain speak.
Yeah.
They were good. I mean, they were informative.
And he even complimented Trump.
He complimented Trump. I mean, it was pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And that just shows you the power of just being well packaged,
Yeah.
But look at his policies that he was doing behind the scenes.
It's amazing.
Literally causing the deaths of people that were completely unnecessary and avoidable. Ugh.
Also, a new study has found that a third of excess deaths in the United States during COVID-19 could not be directly attributed to the virus. Although total U.S. death counts are remarkably consistent from year to year, U.S. deaths increased by 20% from March to July 2020. COVID was a documented cause of only 67% of these excess deaths. Some states had greater difficulty than others containing the spread, causing protracted elevations in excess deaths that extended into the summer. One reason for the high amount has been disruptions in health services caused by the lockdowns.
We said it, man. We said the unintended consequences of this.
Of the way we dealt with it.
Yeah. That
in a lot of cases were worse than the actual disease.
Yeah, and it's going to affect other areas of healthcare. And it has.
So beyond the staggering U.S. deaths caused directly from the virus, more than 134,200 people have died from Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia since March. That's 13,200 more U.S. deaths caused by dementia than expected and then averaged over the years.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah. And this article goes on to discuss, these patients were doing well.
People with dementia are dying not just from the virus, but from the very strategy of isolation that's supposed to protect them. In recent months, doctors have reported increased falls, pulmonary infections, depression, and sudden frailty in patients who had been stable for years.
So sad.
So the cure is worse than the disease for an awful lot of people.
Somebody was saying that back in March, April-ish.
Really?
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah, they got mocked, I think, on social media, too, which is weird. Jeez. Then, of course, the little disagreements between St. Fauci of DCC and President Trump, they're heating up a bit now because Fauci just really kind of came out and complained about him on 60 Minutes and was made into an ad even.
Earlier this month, the Trump campaign released this television ad. It features what appears to be a glowing remark from Dr. Fauci on President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic.
I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more.
Stunning.
Fauci says his words were taken out of context, but this week the ad continued to run in key battleground states.
I do not, and nor will I ever, publicly endorse any political candidate. And here I am, they sticking me right in the middle of a campaign ad, which I thought was outrageous. I was referring to something entirely different. I was referring to
myself having done everything perfectly right. I was referring to me over there, okay? I wasn't referring to Trump. It was me.
Grueling work of the task force that we were knocking ourselves out 7 days a week. I don't think we could possibly have done any more than that.
Did the steam start to come out of your ears?
No, we did.
It really did. His steam came out of his ears. Okay.
Is there video?
Did Trump not put together the task force? Was it not part of his administration?
The guy who hasn't done enough, right?
Right.
Empowered these people to make these decisions.
Yes. But he doesn't want Trump taking credit for that. It's all him. So what he's saying there is, I wasn't talking about Trump there. I was talking about myself. I've done so much. I've done so much and healed and saved the lives of so many. It was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, President Trump has responded, as you can perhaps imagine. Dr. Tony Fauci says we don't allow him to do television, and yet I saw him last night on 60 Minutes, and he seems to get more airtime than anybody since the late, great Bob Hope. All I ask of Tony is that he make better decisions. He said no masks and let China in. Also, bad arm.
Wait a minute. What does he mean by bad arm? Well, the president quickly followed it up with a second tweet.
P.S. Tony should stop wearing the Washington Nationals mask for two reasons. Number one, it's not up to the high standards that he should be exposing. High standards he should be exposing. Okay, interesting way to put it.
Yeah, don't get hung up on that.
Number two, it keeps reminding me that Tony threw out perhaps the worst first pitch in the history of baseball. No, that distinction goes to Barack Obama.
Okay. Yeah, there's an
Because
argument.
you cut a 79-year-old man a little bit of slack.
I see.
Right?
I see.
That's great. Also, bad arm, and that's what he's talking about.
Okay. Well,
that's what we love about Trump, though, right? Those two tweets essentially are what got him the presidency.
Maybe.
So great.
But hey, we got a new directive from.
We got a new warning.
New warning, yep.
Cancel Thanksgiving.
What's that, Doctor?
Yeah, cancel Thanksgiving over there.
Cancel Thanksgiving.
Okay? Yeah, don't want you getting together with your family over there.
Screw you.
It ain't healthy. You gotta bite the bullet and you just eat alone.
What?
Okay? Everybody
Shut
eats in
up.
a separate room and you don't have any extra peoples over the house.
I don't like
over
this,
there.
Doctor. And I don't like your Washington Nationals either while I'm at it.
His first offering.
Here it is. Whoa!
Just a bit outside. He tried to corner this.
Just a bit outside.
Ball 4. Ball 8.
I don't care who you are
Yeah.
or how old you are. That was
That
humiliating.
you got to watch the movie Major League, kids, if you haven't seen it. Rob, did you put that
Funny
together?
movie.
That's funny, man.
Yeah,
That's
good
a
movie.
great little deal there. Yeah. So Dr. Fauci saying
That's
don't
his
get
advice.
together for Thanksgiving.
You may have to bite the bullet and sacrifice that social gathering unless you're pretty certain that the people you're dealing with are not infected. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay? Shut up.
All right. Now you've gone too far. Because we knew it was all about the election anyway, right? He realizes the election's before then. He can cool it. He can
That's
cool
true.
it.
Right. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. World Series is set. LA Dodgers, Tampa Rays.
Oh, is that who's in the World Series?
That's who.
Oh, okay. Didn't
Right
know.
here in the DFW area.
Mm-hmm.
Your Braves were up, 3-1 and lost? By the way, the Astros were down 3-0, came back and tied it 3-3, and then lost Game 7.
Thank you for pivoting off of my series quickly. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you're going to go through that kind of trouble of tying up the series.
Then please, for the love of heaven, win it.
Yeah, just losing 4 next time.
It really sucked. Kara3022 sent this reminder to us. Newsflash. This is a good reminder. The government is not in charge of Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. Stop asking if we're still going to have them.
Yes!
I've heard that question a lot.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have? Do we get to have Halloween? What do you mean? Do we get to have it?
Are you an American?
Yeah.
Gee. I mean,
It's incredible.
It will be interesting to see which of your neighbors have their houses completely dark this year, and not
Probably
just
a
the
lot of
old
them.
timers that don't want to be bothered. It
Yeah,
might be
I bet a
people
lot
that
of
just don't want to interact. Yeah. But Dr. Fauci saying, look, Thanksgiving. What did he say?
Don't even have your family over. Don't even have your family over. Bite the bullet and not have a celebration. Yeah, shut up.
Seriously,
is right.
It's time for you to stop talking.
It is
Doctor.
getting to be that time of year though. The chill is in the air. Yesterday it was when I left in the afternoon, it was I think 54 degrees.
It was cold.
It was so
chilly.
great.
It was got to be clear here. It was cooler than average in Texas.
Yes. Much by a lot. However, that may not be the case all winter. Apparently, we have La Nina now.
Oh, boo.
You're about El Nino.
Yeah, yo soy El Nino. That's a good winter. That's a fun one. It's rocking and rolling. But this one.
But La Nina is the dominating factor, apparently, in this winter's forecast. During a La Nina year,
Oh, no. Look at these maps, Pat.
we typically see warmer, drier weather.
Oh, come on. Dry and warm in Texas this winter?
I don't want that.
No, I don't like that at all.
Bite the bullet. I want it to feel like football weather.
Thank you.
Football! What can't be played in warm, dry weather.
I know.
I mean, you can. It's just not ideal.
When you see like a game in Miami, it's
You
not
want
the same.
no, it's not. You want the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where the warriors gather for battle. That's what you want.
That's what you want.
Speaking of which, I mentioned that there was something interesting from Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Interesting, maybe not the right word.
Yes. You did mention
They didn't realize that their mics were hot.
Oh, no.
During the flyover pregame, and here's what they had to say.
That's a lot of jet fuel just to do a little flyover. That's your hard-earned money and your tax dollars at work. That stuff ain't happening with Kamala Biden ticket. I'll tell you that right now, partner.
I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, because the Democrats certainly don't want to waste anybody's money. They're not known for that at all. Because nobody's more frugal than a Democrat. Am I right, Troy?
All right, can we play that again? Listen, he knows who's at the top of the ticket.
Asinine. Yeah, he does.
Listen to this.
Yeah, he does.
That's a lot of jet fuel just to do a little flyover.
Are you kidding me?
That's your hard-earned money and your tax dollars at work. That stuff ain't happening with Kamala Biden ticket. I'll tell you that right now, partner. Partner.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, I didn't like to see that.
That's surprising.
I mean, they're...
Yeah, remember during the Obama administration, nobody ever did a flyover. There were no flyovers.
That's a new thing.
It's a new thing. It's brand new. Trump mandated this in 2016, and they've been doing these dumb flyovers ever since.
Yeah, when you have a dictatorship, then the dear leader can just snap his finger and say, flyovers over all of these stadiums that, I can't stand that league.
How long
come on.
have sports venues done flyovers?
At least since 9/11.
I can remember it my whole life.
Right, and I remember before big events like the Super Bowl and stuff like that.
Yes.
But it's definitely been an every time thing, right? Since 9/11.
Yes.
But the point is, these guys revealed their true colors.
So disappointing.
Yeah.
Aikman sounds like he's a Kamala Biden guy. In a Harris administration, things are going to be different. We won't waste money on those kinds of things.
Now, he obviously played for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But he went to UCLA, right?
Oklahoma first, I think, and then transferred.
That's right. So where's he from originally, though? That's what I was wondering.
I can't remember.
Okay.
To Texas?
He was born in California.
All right.
So there you go.
Wow. 888-900-3393. Then Jake Tapper at CNN going after Laura Trump on Biden gaffes comment. Check this out.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
No.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see
for the
you
love
make
of
a comment
heaven.
like that?
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable
You have
to
no
watch somebody on stage search for
That's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
and try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
Well, when you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you
stuttering,
were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father-in-law from afar. I'm sure it offends you. You don't have any standing to say.
I'm not diagnosing him. What I'm saying, Jake,
you just talked
is
about
that
a cognitive decline.
That Joe Biden
I have
is
one last
struggling
question for you, Laura. You can't
times on stage, and it's very concerning to a lot of people that this could be the leader of the free world.
Okay.
That is all I'm saying. I genuinely feel
Laura
sorry
Trump.
for Joe Biden.
I appreciate it. I'm sure.
Wow, jeez.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Wow, is that ridiculous? Because here he was with Jill Biden, 2-3 weeks ago, asking about her husband's gaffes.
Your husband has been known to make the occasional gaffe.
Are you making
you can't
fun?
even go there. You can, after Donald Trump, you
Well, that's what I
cannot
want.
even say the word
I can't
gaffe.
even say the word gaffe.
Nope.
I can't even say the word gaff.
Done.
Okay.
It's gone.
All right.
The gaffe
well,
issue is over. Because
it's over
So
because you
over.
said it was. Okay. All right. I'll be a good boy. All right. I'm gonna shut it down now.
He did. He moved
he
on
did.
to something about Obama or whatever at that point.
And he did.
Seriously.
Wow. Notice the difference between that interview where he acquiesces immediately And then the Laura Trump, who he attacks the whole time.
I mean, it was almost like he was getting penance for what he had said to Jill.
Yeah. Yes.
He's like, okay, look, I can make it right. I can play that card on the other way.
And you have absolutely no concern about Joe Biden's cognitive abilities? Seriously?
And
you're a newsman. He knows. He has seen all of these gaffes.
He knows Laura Trump was not talking about stuttering. Shut up, Jake. You take that
really bad.
You take that Joe Biden moment that he had where he got slapped down, and now he got to play that role. Right. And you take how he talked about the Constitution last week with the Biden talking head, right? About, look, court packing and what the Republicans are doing by putting ACB in there is not against the Constitution. He feels like he has to lean farther left now to try to get those people back. He's crazy, man. That was rough.
Really bad. Really disappointing, because we've mentioned many times how we respected Jake Tapper because he seemed like he handed it to both sides. That's completely gone.
Yeah,
that's completely gone.
He had his moments, but that one right there is so egregious. And by the way, stop mansplaining, Jake. You wouldn't even let Laura Trump talk. You kept cutting off her Zoom microphone by talking over her there. That was a poor job.
It was pathetic. Yeah. Pathetic. So I guess these are the kinds of questions it's acceptable to ask Joe Biden of his campaign or his people or he himself. This is a hard
what do we got?
Hitting investigative journalist who wants to know and asks probing questions like this.
Oh, look, he's getting milkshakes.
Got everybody milkshakes, didn't we?
Yes, we did first.
Got everybody?
Yeah. Now listen to the question.
We got it. See, look.
Mr. Biden, what flavor did you get?
We got one vanilla, one chocolate, but I wanted to get what we call black and white, but we're going to move it another way.
What?
Mr. Biden, what flavor did you get?
Got a vanilla?
I got a vanilla. I got a chocolate.
And what do you call them, Joe?
I call them the black and white.
Who has ever called vanilla and chocolate black and white?
Racist like Joe. I don't know.
I mean, that is... Yeah, we got ebony and ivory flavors. Shut up.
You know, these flavors live together on a piano keyboard. Oh, Lord. Why can't we? Huh? Side by side they live together.
In his hands.
On the... Mr. Biden, what kind of flavor do you have? That's the hard-hitting.
I mean, that is seriously
journalism we've come to love.
That is akin to what was the word? Infatuated you the most with the
Enchanted.
office? Enchanted you the most with the
enchanted.
office. Yes. President Obama, tell us more about how it's like to live in the little White House.
This is how they get treated.
What has surprised you the most about this office? Enchanted you the most?
Enchanted you
this
the
office,
most.
humbled you the most? And troubled you the most?
Wow, that's beautiful.
The milkshakes. That's what I love here. I mean, what?
It's the kind of question you get from CNN. By the way, CNN's Don Lemon getting a little bit of anger thrown his way from Ice Cube because I guess Lemon was criticizing Ice Cube for his involvement with Trump.
Yeah. And
that's because he's black and he's gotten out of the plantation, I guess. And you can't do that.
How dare you help a Republican president?
How dare you
bring effective change to the black community?
Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah. We don't want that. So Lemon opened Friday night's edition of CNN Tonight by bantering with colleague Chris Cuomo about a just concluded interview with rap and film star Ice Cube, who's been facing intense criticism ever since the Trump campaign was announced with his permission that the rapper advised them on his platinum plan for Black America.
Okay, so Ice Cube had just appeared on with Chris Cuomo. And then they're doing like the handoff or whatever.
So then Lemon said, I don't want to disrespect him. He's very accomplished. I've only met him a few times. Nice guy.
Yeah, we have that video. If you
okay, here it is.
Interesting conversation with Cube. But there's a lot more to it
than
Spit it out.
what happened.
Oh, tell us.
What you guys talked about.
How so?
Well, there's a reason that African Americans are not drawn to, most African Americans are not drawn to or open to what this administration is doing or saying. One must be careful with, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
I had a conversation the other day, and I won't give it away, with Oprah. And she talked about the power of a platform, right? Just a phone conversation. Power of a platform.
Okay.
So if you're someone like Ice Cube, and you have the platform that you have, and I don't want to disrespect him. He's very accomplished. I've only met him a few times. Nice guy. But one needs to know what one is talking about. One needs to educate oneself on just what is other than the basics about capital, which is important, about voting, which is important, and so on and so forth. So you have to be careful who you align yourself with. So you have to educate yourself about that.
Oh, I see. What a condescending douchebag. That is racism from a fellow black man. That is despicable. So he has to agree with everything. You know that Ice Cube has thought about this, researched it, looked into things, just like Don Lemon has. But Don Lemon is assuming that he's too stupid and ignorant to do his own homework. He's got to agree with everything most blacks agree with. Really crazy. Ice Cube wasn't pleased. He called Lemon out for his punk ass criticism. If you have any balls, I need to be on your show Monday. I'll be ready. That's great.
Yeah, I'm looking at Don Lemon's page.
Didn't have him on,
I
did
don't
he?
see any
I don't think
mention
he
of
did.
Ice Cube being a guest coming up or having just been on. I'm surprised. I would have thought that...
Surprise! Jeez. That's, it's despicable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going around. Let me tell you about iTarget Pro. Man, what an important time to be proficient with your handgun, with your rifles, with whatever, because who knows? Innocent people are falling victim to crime. You don't want to do that. Crime, intimidation, they've been forced to fend for themselves because Democrats on the left are successfully defunding the police. When the government can't or won't protect your family, self-defense is the only option. But most of us don't have the time to consistently train. Plus, ammo's really expensive if you can even find it. That's why iTarget Pro was invented. Using their proprietary app and a laser bullet, you can now train safely in the convenience of your own home with your actual firearm. It's really easy and really fun. It comes with a laser bullet, so you put that into the chamber instead of the actual bullet. So it's safe inside your home. And it comes in all major calibers from .223 to .556, so you can stay sharp with almost any firearm you own. And today, you can get 10% off plus free shipping when you use the offer code PAT. Smartest way for you to practice, and it pays for itself in just a few days of practice. It's the letter I, then targetpro.com, itargetpro.com, offer code PAT. 888-933-93 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Got some tweets here from I couldn't feck less.
Yes!
At least they said it properly.
Yeah, they did.
Not I could feck less. It's I couldn't feck less.
That's awesome.
What in 2020? In 2020, wouldn't it be the La Niña instead of La Niña?
Aha!
La Niña.
An X, yeah.
Because you have to have that.
Gotta.
What, 3% of Hispanics use that stupid term? DMXDM tweets, Fauci should stick to pitching. He's far better with a ball than with a virus.
Mm-hmm.
His first offering.
And here it is again.
Whoa! Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Tried the quarter and missed.
Ball 4. Ball 8.
He's still broadcasting for the Brewers.
Oh, that's
Bob
amazing.
Uecker, yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, that's cool.
Is he in his 90s now? What? Gotta be. Maybe take a peek at that and see.
Must be the front row. Let's see, 86.
86. From Freeform Rioter. Mr. Biden, what's your favorite word? And we had somebody who actually
They ask me all the time,
answered
what is your
that
favorite
question.
this? What is your favorite that? What's your favorite that? And at one time, what is your favorite word?
Word. Favorite.
And I said, my favorite word, that is
really easy. It's
my favorite word is the word.
The word. Yeah.
Is the word.
Is the word.
And that is everything.
Well, it's
it
the
says
word.
it all
Am I
for
right?
us.
Yeah.
And you know the biblical reference.
Sure.
You know the gospel reference of the word.
Do you, though? That's...
And that
that
word.
That word
is we have to give voice to what that means in terms of public policy that would be in keeping.
I mean, selectively, we pick and choose which of the word that we, put into our public policy and which we don't really care about, or we just ignore or pretend it doesn't exist. Okay? I mean, we can't follow all of it. That would be hard.
So what is your favorite milkshake flavor, Pat?
I'm going to say chocolate, Keith. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Just plain old chocolate milkshakes.
Pandering like Joe, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. From Turtles Are Dumb. Thank you, Keith. I have never heard it called a black and white.
Right.
Right.
What is that?
I've heard it called swirl.
Right.
What kind of virtue signaling is he attempting with that?
Exactly what that
turtles weren't so stupid, they would put straws in their noses. When I see a straw, I put it in my mouth. Straws don't belong there, but the turtles don't know why. So maybe they all deserve to die.
Any excuse to play that, Rob. Thank you.
And this from B. DeBonine. Joey Digits. Such a great name for him. Joey Digits. Lack of knowing what numbers over 100,000 isn't a stuttering problem, though.
Thank you.
Jake.
Yeah.
That was really one of Jake Tapper's worst moments ever, I think. It was absolutely despicable.
Yeah, Laura Trump dares to suggest that Joe Biden
listen to this.
Issues.
She's already said, he plays this clip of her saying that it's cringeworthy. When he's on stage, you're kind of, say it, speak it. You feel bad for him because he can't get it out. She wasn't talking about his stuttering.
Every time he comes on stage or they turn to him, I'm like, Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
Oh, wow. That is a power. What an indictment on Laura Trump. How do you think it makes little kids feel? I don't think little kids even think about it. First of all, little kids aren't watching the news coverage. Secondly, they wouldn't consider that her making fun of their stuttering problem, if that's what they have. That's not what she was talking about.
Nice try. Jake, you're trying too hard.
First and foremost, I had no idea that Joe Biden ever suffered from a stutter. I think what we see on stage with Joe Biden, Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to.
Okay, all right, that's it. Okay, now you've said cognitive decline. That's it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. That's it. I'm sorry. You will not speak that way about my Joe. You will not.
I mean, look at him carrying the water for Joe Biden now.
Yep.
That's what he got put in his place for.
Yeah, it was just a couple of weeks ago when this happened with Jill Biden, when they were socially distanced about 80 feet apart.
Your husband has been known to make the occasional gaffe.
Oh, you can't even go there. You can, after Donald Trump, you
Well, that's what I
cannot
want.
even say the word
I
gaffe.
can't even say the word gaffe.
No, I can't even say the word gaffe. Okay, then I won't. And I won't. Never mind. Okay.
The gaffe issue is over.
It's over.
So
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Jill. You're right. I'm sorry. I just wondered if, maybe we'd talk about. I guess not, though. No, I'm out of line here. I'm sorry. Let me save my venom for Laura Trump. Really, heart-wrenching announcement from Rush yesterday. I think he spoke about it for 8 or 10 minutes, how he's doing health-wise. And while it's not that he's given up or anything, but he did say the days of him not looking at this diagnosis as a death sentence are over. So our thoughts and prayers are with Rush. I mean, if we were to lose him, that changes the landscape completely. The man is responsible for talk radio as it currently exists. Just really a giant in the industry. And I understand that Michael Savage took some shots at him. That's absolutely despicable. Absolutely despicable. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Something else that broke yesterday, because there's just so much to talk about. We haven't even gotten to the Jeffrey Toobin story, which is disgusting.
Which is waiting for Jeffrey to address tomorrow.
Maybe
Pat Gray Unleashed.
It might be best to wait.
It's a chewing the fat story, tailor-made.
Very strange. He was on a Zoom call with some of his other staff members at the New Yorker magazine. And I'm thinking maybe some people from CNN were on there as well.
Yeah, they were going to discuss their election night coverage.
Okay. And they all play different parts on this, and so they're doing their thing on this Zoom meeting when all of a sudden he lowers the camera and starts to satisfy himself. Exposed and stuff. And he apparently he got another Zoom call, which he thought he went to, and thought that it wasn't visible to his other staff members, and it was. And so congratulations to Jeff Toobin from CNN for showing his staffers a little more than they bargained for during that particular meeting.
We go with a different word. Next
or
time.
maybe it was a little less than they bargained for. I don't know.
That's a thinking man's joke there.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So what did he? So he lowered his laptop like this?
Yeah, he lowered the camera so that you could see his unit, and then so weird. So could you not just wait until after the Zoom meeting?
Schedule that, right?
Right? I mean, what? Strange. Anyway, very embarrassing. He's been suspended, and I think you're taking a little time off of both jobs, both at the magazine and at CNN. So
his plate is full. He's got a lot going on.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't have time for jobs.
Well, he's trying to multitask, and apparently there were some people who didn't appreciate his multitasking. Whatever.
I mean,
whatever.
It's a demanding time. You got a lot going on. It's hard to fit everything in the course of a day.
Exactly.
And you just got to figure out how to
maybe better manage your
time.
Your time, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I think you will for the most part. So, also, speaking of CNN and how despicable the media is, last week during the town hall meeting, which really turned into kind of a debate between Savannah Guthrie and Donald Trump on his town hall. Now, Joe Biden got softball after softball from George Stephanopoulos.
Did we talk about how Biden had 10 questions asked in his entire town hall, whereas Trump handled 43.
Wow.
43 to 10.
No, I don't know that I've heard that.
Yes.
10 questions to 43? That's incredible.
And Biden was on longer, too. I mean, it's just...
wow.
Weird.
And in order to ask him 43 questions, you got to be interrupting him a lot. And she did. And there was somebody who put a count on it. How many times do you think Savannah Guthrie interrupted Donald Trump
Zero.
During the town hall?
Is it more than zero?
It's more than zero.
Okay.
Check this out.
I felt good the following day. I felt really good.
Did the doctors ever tell you that they saw pneumonia on your lung scan?
No, perhaps infected. And
infected with?
I tested positive.
Well, let's talk about testing.
I had no problem before.
Did you test the day of the debate?
That's when I first found out about it.
Back to the debate.
Okay,
And the
5 times.
doctors
That's
do
got to
it.
be
I don't
about
ask
it, right?
them. I test all the time, and they.
Did you take a test on the day of the debate?
They take a test, and I leave, and I go about my business.
Did you take a test on the day of the debate?
And they took a test, and it tested positive.
So just to button it
Well,
up.
there can't be too many more.
After the debate, I tested positive.
Let's talk about.
That's when they decided to let's go. Just the other day, they came out with a statement that 85% of the people that wear masks catch it. So
They didn't say that. I know that study.
That's what I heard. I have to be out.
You can see
And I
people with a
also
mask,
know-
though, right?
I can, but I'm not going to not let them do it.
Now,
to
there
be
was
honest
an
with you.
event with the gold.
I don't think that's probably where it was called.
Okay, we're at 12.
I was going to say, you bring
All
it
right,
up.
a
you brought
baker's
it up
dozen.
yourself.
I also know
There's no one that says.
it's risky doing it. It is risky doing
But
it.
as
It's
president,
risky seeing people.
you're right.
There's tremendous spikes.
But our death rate is worse.
Interrupted 16 times so far.
Absolutely incredible.
I want to pick up on something you just said.
17.
You said we're rounding the corner.
I believe we're rounding the corner.
Now, 10%.
2,200,000
That 2
people.
million figure, though.
You can't let this continue to go on with the lockdowns.
Well, most
and I
of the
believe
states-
that on November 4th, now they're open. It's like a ghost town.
Let's get to them.
And you did have a hard time ever building it up again. So that cure, and he was asking questions like Biden was a child.
Well, so this is a little bit of a dodge.
Are you listening? I denounce
No, she's not.
Okay.
What's your next question? I denounce these people on the left that are burning down our cities that are run by Democrats who don't
All right,
know what
while
they're
we're
doing.
denouncing, let me ask
2
you
dozen
about
times so
QAnon.
far.
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told
I
you.
know very little, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is
If
a
you'd like
satanic
me to
cult run by the deep
study the
state.
subject, burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by
Republican
Republicans.
Senator Ben Sass.
I don't know.
Let me
Tell
ask you
all
another
about it.
thing.
Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more
Let
on
me
this
just
thing.
and I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree
But
with
there's
it.
not a satanic pedophile cult being
No
run
idea.
by.
Why
Okay,
doesn't
30
he condemn
times so far.
Antifa? Why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because you're here before me.
So more than zero?
Yeah, more than
Put it
zero.
out there.
Yeah.
People can decide
I
for
don't
31 more,
understand the
32
purpose. You're
more
not like someone's
so far.
crazy uncle who can just retweet what.
I wouldn't be able to get the word out. And the word
the word
is
is called-
And counting.
they're dumped in garbage cans.
That is a handful. We could go all night, which we won't.
When I see thousands of ballots dumped in a garbage can and they happen to have my name on it, I'm not happy about
Okay,
that.
but just those are case.
Dr. Fauci said I saved thousands and thousands of lives.
Did you?
I was early. I don't want to go out and say everybody's going to die. Everybody's
Isn't
going
there a middle ground? You don't have to
there's not.
mislead.
They were talking about a 42% unemployment
Who
rate.
was talking
It
about
came
that?
out-
I heard
it just came out
20%.
at 7.8%. I am all for
I
it.
don't get that.
Only
because
40
it's just
times
If you
and
look at
counting.
Scott, Dr. Scott, he's from great guys, Stanford. He will tell you
He's
that
not an
disagrees
infectious
with you.
Counting some more.
Oh, I don't know. Look, he's an expert. He's one of the great experts of the world.
But I don't get it because you.
But then you have a report coming out 2 days ago that 85% of the people wearing masks.
I looked at that report. It's not about mask wearing. It was.
And I want to give great health care.
Mr. President, I got to
Thank you very much.
on the pre-existing conditions.
Individual mandate is gone. That was the worst
You
part.
repealed, but you haven't replaced.
We got rid of the individual mandate.
But
That went
the
through the
promise was
legislature.
repeal and replace.
We will always protect people
46
with
times.
pre-existing
If you're
conditions.
successful
And
47.
in November,
we are
48.
ready to sign and pass stimulus, but she's
people
got to.
do not love the back and forth of Washington.
I want it to be bold. I want the money to go to directly
Are
to the
Senate
people.
Republicans with you? They're going to go big?
They'll go. They're going to be
Okay,
very
because so
happy.
far they have not
I
said
know,
they
because
would.
I haven't asked them to. I don't love what's happening to San Francisco.
I hear you right. It sounds like you're
1290
saying
Avenue, the
$400 million
We're at 52
isn't that
now.
much.
biggest office buildings.
But are you
More than zero?
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
tiny
a few more than
percentage
zero.
of my net worth.
Yeah.
That sounds
And
like
you'll
yes.
see that. It's called
54.
mortgages. People have a house to put
Any
a
foreign
mortgage.
bank,
55.
any foreign
Not that I
entity.
know of. You saw what they did with the
But
religious
to be
group.
clear, there is no
56.
law or rule.
My son is here. They run the company. I don't run the company. You
It
know,
also says that you paid $750 in taxes in the year you were elected. Is
because
that
that's
true
a
or not?
statutory number. It's
Shameless.
a statutory.
But
it's
is
not
that true?
I think it's a filing number. You pay $750. It's a filing
that
or
all you
filing
pay? 'Cause
fee.
every-
And I know she's going to make a great decision for our country.
You
along
running
with
as
the
a
other
pro-life Republican.
Even you, Savannah, will be very impressed.
Sir,
with
we
what
have about 30 seconds left.
we created new levels of jobs that nobody thought was possible.
61
And next year is
times.
going to be better than ever before.
I got to leave it there. I got a wrap from the control room. Mr. President,
And
thank you for your time. Thank
all right, she is getting accolades from the left and from the media like you can't believe. She exhibited journalism there. She interrupted him 61 times.
So was it an interview or a town hall?
It was neither. It was a debate between the president and Savannah Guthrie. Pathetic. Wow. I mean, the media, they just don't care about objectivity anymore at all. We got another interesting example of that from, it's New Zealand.
So this politician guy who has come out against COVID, who has come out and basically said there's too much hysteria going on.
Yeah, he lost his election.
He lost his election. Then he sits down for an interview with the New Zealand journalist lady, and this was fun.
And she's, I guess she's taking on the role of Savannah Guthrie here.
Oh, goodness, this is rough.
After a decade in politics, former National MP Jamie Lee Ross is out of Parliament. The Advance NZ co-leader joins me now. Jamie Lee, you just described yourself as a loser. You are out of National, out of Parliament, out of Botany. Your political career is in tatters. Do you have any regrets?
Tatters?
Look, we gave it a good go this time round. We put together a new party. In just a few months' time, we only gathered 1% of the vote. It clearly wasn't enough, but I've enjoyed the opportunity to work with all the people that I have with Advance New Zealand.
Do you want to have another crack at answering that? Because I just asked you if you have any regrets. You've just been part of a political movement which has been peddling misinformation during the election campaign. Do you have any regrets?
No, I think we were asking some hard questions about the direction of COVID-19. If you're asking about regrets throughout the whole 3-year term, of course, we could have all done things a lot differently and a lot better back in 2018, but we're here now. We made our bed and we just moved forward.
I want to focus on the strategy. Look, why on earth did you get into bed with Billy Te Kahika?
I could see that there was a lot of growth on social media. There was a lot of growth in the number of people coming along and looking at it.
Purely political ambition.
No,
you sold your soul for political ambition.
I could see that there was people out there who were asking questions around things that I believe in too, around freedom and sovereignty for New Zealand.
And a pandemic.
No, that is nothing. I've never said that, Tova.
You haven't, but he has.
I've never said that. COVID-19 is a real virus, and we were asking questions about whether the country was going in the right direction.
You know exactly what you were doing. You were whipping up fear and hysteria among vulnerable communities.
Not at all. If you go and look at the mortality rate of COVID-19 compared to other flu epidemics,
I'm going to stop. No, I'm not. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any of. I don't want to hear any of that.
You don't want to hear?
What do you?
Let's do this.
Not allow me to answer.
Well, if you're going to come on the show and say things which are just factually incorrect, I can do that actually. Politics is all you've known. What are you going to do? What are you going to do after this?
I think it's time for a rest. But look, I've enjoyed the decade that I've been in Parliament. I think it's been one where I've been able to serve my community of Botany, and I've done that diligently. And the last 2 years wasn't what I expected when we had election 2017. But there's a whole lot of characters in the National Party too that I think will be looking back at this term and thinking they could have and should have done things a lot differently.
You said you do have some regrets from the 3-year parliamentary term, or perhaps more broadly in your political career. This might be the last time that you're on air, probably the last time that we'll invite you on. Are there any apologies that you want to issue to anyone?
I think we all in the National Party back in 2018 could have done things differently, and we should have. And that was probably the start of the decline for the National Party. Had we all done things differently, we'd all be in a different position. But it happened, we moved forward, and we focus on the future. That's what I'm doing now.
Do you take some responsibility for the drubbing that was served to the National Party last night?
Internally, back in early 2018, I was asking questions about whether the party was too negative, whether we should have been more aspirational, whether Simon Bridges was connecting with New Zealanders.
Yeah,
I wasn't listened to internally. That was the falling out I had with Simon Bridges. Over time, it got worse, and it blew out publicly. I was saying back then, though, the National Party wasn't connecting. Tonight, or last night, their 27% was because they weren't offering a vision. They weren't offering hope to New Zealanders, and Jacinda Ardern did.
Why did you stand down in Botany? Because all of the conversations that we had, you were still convinced that you were somehow going to win that seat. People have described you as a narcissist. It did almost seem like a kind of narcissistic belief that you could win the seat that was obviously going to go to Christopher Luxon. So why did you stand down?
People have described you.
Rolling out all the terms, aren't you?
Why did you stand down?
I wanted to focus on the nationwide campaign with
He's
Advance
pretty
New Zealand.
amazing.
We had 62 brand new
To remain
candidates, and I was
calm
doing that. Had I
during this
stayed in Botany,
beating.
I probably would have taken so much vote off Luxon that Labor would have won the seat. So I guess
Wow.
my final gift to the National
Dreaming,
Party
mate.
was giving them Kristen Luxon.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Former National MP Jamie Lee Ross.
Wow.
And it makes you think, wow, Savannah Guthrie, not so bad.
Yeah. That was nice and objective, wasn't it? That's
Oh,
just
my goodness. How did he
an
keep his
objective
composure,
questioning.
man?
I don't know. I would have gotten up and left right in the middle of the interview. He should have.
It was amazing. She had no interest in discussing the real COVID numbers or anything like
none.
that.
Absolutely not.
Do we have the chart, Rob, of the United States daily confirmed coronavirus cases? Do you have that? There's a graph that shows that, because the media has gone from reporting the deaths to just the cases now.
Yes.
And which is going to go up if
Yeah.
you're testing everybody and their brother for this now.
Yeah, it's going to go up.
Okay. Well, anyhow.
We don't have the graph.
I guess we don't have it, but basically it's the deaths have remained steady after coming way down. Now they've leveled off. It's the cases that are shooting way up, which of course you're going to have with more testing numbers. But it's interesting though that this time last year we have apparently solved the flu. As someone pointed out on Twitter, Trump getting no credit for eliminating the flu, which is down 95%.
Is it really?
It is. Because it's now a COVID number, you see. Or as Jimmy Stewart might say, you see.
You say.
Flu is down 95% in the United States. Congratulations, Donald Trump defeated influenza. Yeah.
Yay.
And getting no credit whatsoever for that.
It's amazing.
So
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Then we have this from NBC News.
This is fun.
This is great. This was tweeted to us by Drew. NBC News should take this up with NBC News.
NBC News.
Apparently there's some conflicting reports from, I don't know, NBC News.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know which one of these is wrong, but
this is NBC News in 2018.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay. They tweeted out California Firefighters Union leader said President Trump owes the communities and first responders an apology for blaming the state's deadly wildfires on poor forest management.
Yeah, remember that? How
Remember
dare
that?
he even?
NBC News, let's see, recently.
last week.
On the 18th, they tweet out, decades of mismanagement led to choked forests. Now it's time to clear them out, fire experts say.
Wait a minute. Wait, that sounds familiar. Where did we hear that before?
But wait a minute. I thought the forest managers were owed an apology. But
Well.
All right.
I tell you, man.
Fascinating.
Cannot win, that guy.
Also a sign of things to come, perhaps. I guess that there might be some COVID vaccine tie to your passport, where maybe in order to travel the world, you might have to have a vaccine.
We said it.
Who saw that coming?
Nobody.
Well, yes, all of us. We all did. We all did.
Yeah, and so Australia, I guess.
Already in Australia.
They're going to take the lead on this. Not quite yet, but once that vaccine comes, get ready.
Listen to this.
Is to digitise the incoming passenger card. So at the moment, everybody who arrives into Australia, be you a foreigner or an Aussie, you would complete this card, and it has your contact information, your details, as well as some of the biosecurity information. That obviously is sometimes difficult to read. It takes time to manually process this, and in the future, when we need to be able to contact trace people, we of course would like that information to be able to get to health authorities immediately, rather than having to go through the process of entering the data and across to them. So from this time next year, our expectation is that we'll no longer need this incoming passenger card, because we'll have a fully digital incoming passenger card. And what's more, by having a digital product, in the future, should there be a globally available vaccine, we'll be able to attach an authentic vaccination certificate.
The certificate
to the incoming passenger
the
card, so that we will know
card.
if a person has indeed had that vaccination or
that's
not.
so handy.
And therefore they will
That
be
is
able
really
to
convenient, right?
enter into Australia
Well, thank you for
potentially
doing
without
that.
quarantining.
So that's coming. That'll
Maybe,
be fun.
You know what else you could put is our religion on the card. Put the religion on the card and the vaccine on the card.
On the card.
And let's see what we can do with that. Because maybe you could keep some undesirables out of your country. Am I right?
This is going to be fun.
Isn't it?
I love the trajectory of Western society.
And then after you've got the vaccine, the religion, then you can put their political affiliation, which would be great too.
And what would
really
they put that on?
They put that on the card.
Oh, on the card.
Yeah, right there on the card.
Okay, yeah.
See what happens.
Just a heads up, 50% of people who died from the flu last year had the flu shot. So I'm sure it'll be effective once we finally have that.
That's impossible because you're not supposed to get the flu after you've had the flu shot. Yeah. That's what the flu shot is
much
for.
less die from it, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
It's going to be fun.
Is that on the card?
That'll be on the card as well.
Okay.
Everything.
Let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. Leftist corporations like Verizon have empowered radicals, of course, to tear our country apart. We've seen it, and thank you to Verizon for funding their efforts. It's great. Most recently, they sent $10 million to Al Sharpton and others. This all started, of course, with the impeachment process, exploiting the pandemic, violent riots. Now they're threatening violence over filling the vacant seat on the Supreme Court, too. Now, Patriot Mobile will not fund these leftist corporations. They won't send your hard-earned money to aid in the destruction of America, and they won't fund Planned Parenthood with it. So when you switch, you'll get the same coverage you get from the big companies, but they all use the same cell towers. So you're going to get the same nationwide service but you get to support a company that shares your values and supports our police. They make switching really easy. You can keep your phone, you can keep your number, whatever you want to do. Switch them both if you want. Get a free month of service or a free phone plus free activation when you use the offer code PAT. Go to patriotmobile.com/PAT or call their U.S.-based customer service team. 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT. patriotmobile.com/PAT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
You know who Sue Bird is? Big time WNBA basketball player. I know you know her because.
Why would you even ask that, man?
It's like if she fell down in a forest, would anybody hear her? No, because nobody's watching.
Or in the forest.
Listening. Or in the forest.
I mean, why would you even be out there?
I don't know. And
Crazy.
you certainly wouldn't be playing basketball in the forest.
Right, and this is Sue Bird, right?
Sue Bird.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid growing up, in my bedroom I had posters of my 3 favorite basketball players. Which was Dominique.
One of them, Sue Bird?
Is Dominique Wilkins,
okay.
Spud Webb, and a young Sue Bird.
Yeah, really young Sue Bird.
Very young.
That's great. That's great.
So tell me more.
I'm glad you were interested, though. Well, Sue Bird says that she says to be completely blunt, but also it's kind of simple. Soccer players generally are cute little white girls, and I think basketball players were all shapes and sizes. It's 70 to 80% black women and a lot of gay women. We're tall, we're big, and I think there's just maybe this intimidation factor with that. So people watch women's soccer more because in the WNBA, they're black and gay.
What?
It can't be that we're just not interested in your stupid sport,
oh, no.
right? It has to be some sort of discrimination situation. Really, we're just racists. That's why.
I'm tearing down.
Everything comes down to that.
My Sue Bird poster's coming down off the wall.
Is it really? That's a drastic move, Keith. It's been there a long time. Seriously?
Yeah. The wood paneling behind it's going to be faded now when I pull it.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.